Okay, good morning, Advantage members. It's Tuesday, July 20th, 7:30 a.m. We got prices of Bitcoin currently sitting at $29,600. So basically what we have right now is, once again, overnight movement has taken us down to key levels, right? Some of the key levels I told you all about. As we start to break away from 31,000, now you can really just go down every $1,000, okay? Other than 31,000 and maybe 29,000, the one in the middle, which is 30,000, it's not like it's a real support other than the fact that it's just a psychological support, right? The fact that it's an even number, like, oh my God, we broke 30, or oh my God, we lost 30, right? So you could clearly see that it's a big number that everyone is going to look at as a big psychological number, okay? And then, of course, on the way down, you guys know very well, we've spoken about the sweep of 27,500, which, again, I don't think is going to be that big of a deal. But this is probably the area that we might land if we do decisively start to break down. And that's somewhere around $24,000 or $23,000. Okay. Other than that, of course, we've spoken about the scenarios where price could come down into this area if we do start breaking down, right, in this channel, which if we drop down literally like today or tomorrow, it could be anywhere between 21,500 all the way down to about 16,900. Okay. So why am I discussing this? Well, we know that we've broken through key levels, right? We've broken structurally through key support levels and rejected key support levels as resistance, as you can see evidenced right here. This is probably the lowest movement that we've had in terms of price action since this date right here, which is 22nd of June. So almost a good month, right? Now, of course, if we sweep that and start heading lower and breaking below the yearly open, things could get really ugly. But here's where we are, okay? And here's where I start to put on my trader hat, okay? Because from a longer term perspective and just sort of like looking at the market, we know that the momentum is to the downside. We know that the market has a higher probability of breaking down further. But here's where things get interesting, all right? So I've told you all before that I don't know if BTC is going to decisively break this area today or tomorrow or this week, right? I just know that there's a much higher probability that it will, okay? So we're sitting on support right here, right, on BTC. Now, you know very well that BTC kind of dictates the rest of the market, right? It dictates how alts move. It dictates pretty much basically all other sectors of the market, privacy coins, DeFi, Web3, whatever, right? Now we come into a very peculiar area in altcoins as well. Let's look at Doge. If you'll remember, I took a Doge short, right, last week, and I had stated that for my Doge short, I would probably want Doge to come back and sweep this low right here. Guess where we are? We've come right into that area. Now, we have not decisively swept it, but I think we've kind of come close to it pretty much, and to the point where we're basically sitting on this support level, right? ETH, let's look at a couple more, right? Where's ETH? Okay. Basically, once again, sitting right at support. Okay. What else? Let's look at Rune. Okay. Rune, I mean, is completely collapsing, but once again, sitting literally holding on by a thread near support. All right. Solana, or Solana, again, sitting at this area right here, base of the wicks, right at support. You guys get the point, okay? I don't need to go through every other altcoin to show you that we're basically right at the edge of support. Now, what does that mean as a trader? As a trader, you know very well that there are certain rules that we follow, right? When we are short an asset, okay, we sell into key areas of support. When we're long an asset, we sell into key areas of resistance. Now, we know very well that the market is obviously weak, right? We know the probabilities are high that the market is going to break down. So the question is, do you want to hang on and hope that the market breaks? I personally don't. I want to realize this profit and sit and wait, because today itself, we've already made a decisive move on, say, Solana. We're already down almost 7.5%. Yesterday, we were down 8%. That's a cumulative, 15 to 16% that we've been down in 3 days, right? Ethereum, let's see. How much is ETH down? For the last 3 days, it's down half, 3.8, and another 4. So almost 9 to 10%, right? So point is that as we come into an area where we've gone down 3 straight days on red days, and we're sitting right near support, okay, at the very least, you can now consider taking profit, or you could start getting out of your position. And I am going to get out of my positions right now. Okay, so let Advantage members know, and let's just start closing out of these positions, because this is support. I don't know how today is going to go. Even if we pop up, I'm okay with that, because I can just reshort the market. But I don't want to be short now. Okay, I don't want to be hoping and wishing that, well, maybe this is a time that we might break down, right? All right, so this is the 5K count. We're about to realize our profits, right? So about what, $1,200-$1,300 here. So let's get out of these positions. I don't really care what kind of exit I get. My positions are not that big, so we're just going to start closing these out. Okay. Let's get out of all these. Beautiful. Okay. So now the market could do whatever it wants for all I care. All right. So what are we at? Our wallet is now at $17,150, right? So we cleaned up a good $1,200-$1,300. So it looks good, right? I mean, we're sitting on pretty healthy positive balance. We close right into support. Now we just wait. Okay, we wait patiently and see if we get maybe a pop back up. Maybe if we start breaking down, right? If we start seeing this area being broken of, say, 1750 on ETH, or say 29,000 on BTC, where it does something like this and starts rolling over, that could be another entry in our short. And it may happen on a smaller time frame, right? It may not happen on a daily basis. It might just happen today decisively. Okay. So let me do this real quick. Shit, I should have taken a screenshot of the closing of our positions. Darn it. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Altcoin short updates. Now plus, I think it was 1250. Something like that. I can't even remember now. See, this is why I always take screenshots. It is what it is. Let's just write 1200, because I think it was 1200. I'm gonna take a screenshot just so people know exactly where we are in context of the market. BTC, Ethereum, and Doge. Okay. Support, like to close shorts in this support rather or breaks. Okay. Cool. All right. Is everyone okay with that? And obviously, again, non-investment advice. You guys are free to do whatever you want, right? Elizabeth, Nova, Ronald, Marvin, Saz, Chuck, are you guys good with that? Do you guys understand, like, conceptually why I'm closing out my shorts, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right. So the other thing that I'd spoken about yesterday was in a market like this, right now, of course, we know for sure that the trend is down. Okay. Now, if you want to be a buyer looking for areas to buy, right? You don't necessarily need to be in an active short position and being in a managing short position while you're looking for longs to get into, because those two things are counter to each other. Because at the one hand, you're obviously going to hope that prices keep heading down further. And on the other hand, you're hoping that, well, wait a second, do I go long or do I let my short, go further in profit? See what I'm saying? Like, so it's a very contrasting mindset that we have. The best way I counter that mindset is something that I just did, which is in a market like this, right? You kind of just follow the basics of trading, okay? Which is if you short resistance, you sell into support, especially on days where we've had outsized movements in altcoins and BTC and we're sitting on support. So the probabilities are much higher that here in this particular area, you might want to start closing out of your positions. You might want to start getting out of the market. So that's exactly what we're doing. And when you start closing out the positions and getting out of the market, that opens up an opportunity to start going long on the other side, right? Okay. Is there any other questions? So we know we're sitting on support. Obviously, I made a few tweets about levels that I'm looking at. I mean, some of this was kind of just like me spitting out a bunch of numbers and levels, but some of it is like pretty spot on already, right? Like these are very conservative numbers. 27.5K. Well, we're already like $2,000 away from that. $5 sushi. Let's see. I think sushi is already in the $5 range, right? No, it's at 622. So it's $1 away, right? You start sweeping these lows, you've entered that $5 territory, Luna, I think Luna is already at $5 range. Yeah, Luna's at 589. What else? BNB 250. Right? We already hit a low of 254 today. Matic 75 cents. Pretty sure Matic has already kind of gone past that. Yeah, 65. All right. So it swept this low. And by the way, with Matic, I want y'all to keep in mind, guess what? This was the low that I was looking to be swept. Remember way back here, like I think I had talked about when we were up here and we were starting to head down, I said, I think it's still possible that this low is going to get swept. And I stated this to be the case for multiple altcoins. So if you look across the board and look at other altcoins, I'm pretty confident other altcoins are going to get sold as well. Okay. ADA, we talked about ADA, I think hitting close to $1 itself. Guess what? What's ADA at today? I hit a low of 102. Pretty solid, right? Polkadot. What do we have of Polkadot? Hit a low of $10.37. Not $10 exact, but nonetheless, pretty damn close, right? So that's all I have. Other than that, I mean, as we head into the day, ES, NASDAQ futures, they look okay. I mean, they popped up from yesterday's low, so they look okay, right? So we'll see how the rest of the day goes, okay? Have you recognized any bigger BTC sell-off in exchanges pushing price down? All of them have been kind of consistently selling. So if I look at the order books across the board, I mean, they're all pretty much on the sell side. Like, I didn't think there was anything, like one of the days I saw FTX perps heavily selling, like this area right here. But for the most part, they've all been consistently selling. Like there's days where sometimes like Binance was aggressively selling. And then there's days where FTX BTC perps were selling. Spot side, Coinbase was selling a decent amount too. But not, particularly heavy. Like I think once we see the break of 29, 28 like that, I think we'll start seeing, more volume come in from the spot side, especially. Like right now, I think we're still, because we're in a range, right? I think that the perps are still taking a lot of control because there's a lot of liquidation hunting and all that going on, right? So I think that's kind of what we're dealing with. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Okay. I gotta get going, but is there any other questions? All right. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.